Hi, welcome to Business Influencers. I'm your host, Chris Salem, and hope everyone's having a great week. If you just found us, you found us here at the TALRadio.org website. Again, hope you're enjoying a lot of the great content from the hosts that share each and every week here on the TAL Radio platform. With Business Influencers, we've been here now for over 4 years. It's hard to believe it's been that long. But again, we want to thank you, listeners, each and every week joining us here at Business Influencers. We are committed to you and your success in terms of raising your level of influence to take you and your business to the next level. Also, we want to let you know that you can follow us also on YouTube, Spotify, as well as Apple, including here at the TAL Radio platform. Today's show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to meet new people for the first time. Now, it is a membership program, taking out all the noise out of social media. You get to generate genuine and authentic relationships with the people you choose to interact with. If you'd like some more information about Alumni Direct, check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, we got a great show for you today. We've covered this topic in the past, but I always love when we talk about harmony in life. It's never about perfect balance, where if you saw a seesaw, it would never be perfectly balanced on its axis point. It teeters. And that's what harmony is all about. We're going to be talking about the barriers to a harmonious life, what's really holding us back. And we're here with our subject matter expert today, Victoria Christensen. She is a psychotherapist, relationship expert, holistic healer, couples specialist, and international speaker and best-selling author. For over 15 years, she has guided individuals, couples, and families towards deeper connection, healing, and transformation. As a seasoned psychotherapist, couple specialist, and a family constellations facilitator, she uncovers the hidden emotional and spiritual barriers that keep people from living in true harmony with themselves and each other. As I mentioned, she's a best-selling author of 4 books and a passionate educator, and she designs powerful courses and workshops that ignite change, from helping couples through rekindle their spark to empowering women to their own strength. Her teachings span universal laws. You are the creator of your life and living from the heart, all designed to align mind, body, and soul with true abundance. Now, I could keep going on and on and on, but you're going to get to know a little bit more about Victoria later and how you can contact her. We'll also have that contact information in the show notes as well. And without further ado, we welcome Victoria Christensen to the show. Victoria, how you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you, Sal. It's incredible. All that you said was about me.
It is all about you. And well, we want to make this, you've done so many great things around helping people, and you've committed your life in terms of the profession that you've, been doing your whole life to helping others. Give us some little context of the backstory of, living a harmonious life, maybe your own journey in terms of how you've found that and what you do today in the many different roles that you help people do that in their life and business.
Well, that is a very, very, very difficult question to answer, because where should I begin? I am an old person already, so I have a long path, and it has not been always so easy. But what I have learned is, when I look back, is that absolute everything had a meaning. And that is a wonderful insight to have, because when in the worst moments of despair, if I had knew that, well, this is a reason to be, it would have been much easier to navigate, And we all human beings have, it's like like navigating. It's like a boat, Sometimes the sea is very calm, other times it's a storm, and we even have tsunamis in our lives. But what I have learned also is that normally it's our resistance. When we don't need to learn that lesson, it doesn't happen anymore. Then everything is easy and smooth. And maybe it's not for others looking at our lives, but the way that we take it, is harmonious, is peaceful. It's not a drama anymore, it's part of life.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Part of the process.
yeah, part of the process. And the process is, I am a true believer that we have come here to life to learn and to give and receive in properly balance, right? And you talk about the harmonious way of living that is like this, but this is harmony because the light always has a shadow. It doesn't exist one without the other, right? So harmony is a perfect balance of gray tones, not white or black, not black and white. So I have had many staff anchors, and I have a very dysfunctional childhood, and I had two divorces. I have been traveling like a globetrotter around the world with little children without knowing the languages, and I had to learn a lot of languages and adapt to different cultures and so on and so on. I have cancer. I have a very serious accident in my childhood where I broke my neck and I didn't know if I should walk again, and so on and so on. So resilience is a part of my life, and I believe that I can give that back. And then I am happy.
I love the resilience. We've always said here at Business Influencers, resilience isn't a situational thing, like where, if you go through a divorce or you lose somebody, type of thing. It's something that can be on various levels, from extreme to very mild. But when we're resilient, we're able to see things for what it is, not a way we always think it should be. So we're able to see the challenge as an opportunity, and then as an opportunity to turn it into result. I love if somebody that's listening here that's struggling right now, they just can't seem to get their life together, or maybe their business or career is not where it has to be, or maybe their career is doing well, but their personal life isn't, or their personal life isn't doing well, but their career is, and they're still looking for that harmony. What would you suggest to someone listening right now, or those listening later? What would be that first step that you would share with them that could help them to get on that path?
Yeah, that is wonderful that you asked me, because I was thinking myself, it's very easy for us. I put myself in your standard, and people that had already evolved a little bit and is not born yesterday in this path, right? But there are many people that get very frustrated, or that they just try to do what they are listening, manifest, just be with the flow, just make affirmations, do this, and the neuroscience shows us, and they people get more and more frustrated, and we know that the psychic illness is growing. And here in Europe, we have a very high level of people, very young people, that they commit suicide. And it's exactly because of that. Because we are in the social medias, and we see only successful people, right? People that have all the answers. And then we try in our ignorance, and we don't get it. We can't do it because it takes really time, patience, empathy, and compassion on oneself. And that is difficult to swallow when you are comparing yourself with your neighbor that, yes, maybe from outside everything is matching, and on the social media everybody is smiling and everybody is knowing the answers. So what do I say to somebody? Well, find help. That's the first thing I would say, because there's a lot of people that I want to help. But the other thing is, look really inside yourself, because inside of our heart, I do believe that when we are silent, not TV, not noise, not trying to do things to not to listen, but really have the courage to stop up and listen to our heart. Inside of our heart, I think everybody knows the truth. And the truth is that we have to be compassionate with ourselves, that life is not so easy. That's the first thing I would say. Stop and listen. The second I would say is, find help, because there are other people that have been there before you and maybe can help you. And the third one I would say is don't be so strict with yourself. Accept who you are, because we are all unique and we all have something to bring to ourselves, our life, and to the world. So accept who you are. Stop with comparison yourself. That's what I would have said. Comparison killed the cat.
Yeah. I think like again, instead of looking at like just from like how somebody else is doing it or you are where you're supposed to be. So just trust the process and embrace, where you are, like you said, and and accept what is and what now you can maximize from that. I that's what I got from what you shared, and I think that
Yeah,
was
yeah, but also I have compassion. Compassion sometimes we misunderstand that it's like, oh, I feel pity. No, it's not that. It's to understand that it's possible to have a lot of pain and at the same time find joy. That it's possible to feel despair and at the same time be fulfilled, and that it's possible not to have a partner, but at the same time have other companions, and so on and so on, because like you say, harmony is like this. Everything is in polarities in the world and in the universe. Everything has polarity. So try to find just 2 minutes every morning to be grateful for something that you are grateful for. And we all have things to be grateful for. Always.
Absolutely. I think as you get older, you appreciate the little things. At least I know as I getting older, all the things I used to get upset about and used to think were important, just aren't really important anymore. Like, and I have a much greater outlook on life like I did when I was much younger. And I guess that's what experience teaches you. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But at the same time, I think that we have all a responsibility to be more human beings. We have forgotten to be human beings.
Yeah.
And it's so small things, just to give a smile. It doesn't cost anything. Just to give a home to somebody in the street. Can I help you to get up on the bus? I mean, those things. I know that in the States, I've been living there. You are very nice on that. But maybe other things, right? Not so egoistic. This is mine and I protect it. I don't come here and don't take it. And all those things is in ourselves. Try to be the people that you want to find. And when you are very desperate and when you are very depressed, those things, people get angry if you say that. So the compassion has to come from the one that can, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. No, great stuff. Thank you, Victoria, for sharing. What would you say, like, when you're dealing with your career, your life, your business, and there's going to be periods where, again, you feel like, oh my God, I got to do all these things at the same time. Sometimes you feel that way, and you feel overwhelmed, you feel frustrated, you feel angry. And oftentimes we might escape that anger or frustration and we drink too much or we engage in something that in a form of an addiction that really doesn't serve us. We see so many people fall into that trap. What would you recommend, with people like that are feel like they got it, like they just feel so overwhelmed with life and their career and business? Like where would you recommend, like, again, what do they look at? Because again, it might be their career first, it might be their life first. So it's never going to be always the same. So you got to go with, one thing to kind of work on it before you start working on another. Like what would you recommend to them?
I don't think that I agree with you in that you said now that it has to be one or another. And
Doesn't have to
sometimes
be
we
one or another, but like you got to do one thing to go, then it's not like you're doing it at the same time. Like you might say, like this week I'm going to put more emphasis in my life, and then next week I'm going to put more into my career. So I didn't mean it like
Yeah, I understand. I'm
park your
sorry. Yeah.
career and then work on your. No, I meant like you can't. I couldn't like work on my business and something personal that was important to me at the same time. It wouldn't give me the same level of focus. That wouldn't
I
work.
understand.
Yeah.
And I think well, I will say very simple. I like to talk very simple so everybody understands me,
Yeah.
And then I say the day has 24 hours. 8 hours to work, 8 hours to enjoy, and 8 hours to relax. And then in that, I add discipline, a
Well, there's
card.
the key word, discipline, that we love to hear. We don't hear it too often, but when somebody says it, we got to give them a shout out for that, because discipline is one of the big things we advocate here at Business Influencers that leads to consistent habits that serve and
Yeah.
elevate that harmony.
And then I will add, because I have clients that they understand that they are very business oriented, and they at the same time they are procrastinating and being the worst enemies of themselves. And then when you want something, to want is not to get it. To want it is a wish from your soul, from your heart, from your values, what you have come to. It's a dream. If you can dream it, you have it already in you, you know. But why don't you do it? Well, it's the ego, it's the lack of confidence, it's all the limiting beliefs, it's the conditionings, and so on, that you know very well what I'm talking about. But I would say, if you see, yeah, I want to, but tomorrow I will wake up at 6 o'clock, I will train, and then I will meditate, and then I will, and you don't do it, and then it's the next day and the next day, and then you feel worse, and then you start to hack for yourself, and then you feel like you are miserable. Why is that? Well, work, I would say that the base and the platform that has to work first, and maybe you will be surprised I said that, is your inner life, your spirituality. If you really love yourself, you take care of yourself in the proper way. And then you find time for what really is giving you meaning, really and deep meaning. And everything that is material goods, everything that is outside you that you cannot control, it will give you an anxiety and a stress level, and so on and so on. So work with yourself, have the base clean. It's like a house. Clean your house, and then you can go out and plant in the garden. I cannot be successful if inside me, my inner life is a mess. So Buddha said that if you like a flower, you pick it up, but if you love it, you let it live there so you can enjoy it every day. And as a human being, we have 4 levels, right? The physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. I start with the spiritual, and everything else will come. Flow with intention, and you don't have to work any day. Everything will come.
Trust in the process. I love it. I love it. No, that was great insights, and and so true. And I love the fact that you said discipline, because discipline means that if we're going to change something and something is out of alignment, something is not working, well, we got to do our part in order for our trusted, our higher source to do its part. It's not one or the other. And so, sometimes we have to do things that are uncomfortable. We may not want to do them, but by doing them, we know it's going to serve us, moving us forward. So, yeah, I think that's great. Mentally, spiritually, physically, and I think,
And emotionally.
yeah, and emotionally, correct, are so
But
important.
I say, for me, it gives me very meaning to see that we are a compound, a fountain, if you want to, of love and will. Perfectly combination. It's like a marriage, the feminine love with the masculine will, But the will is discipline, right? But if it's not based with the feminine side, that I do it because I love myself, because I deserve it, because I know better for me, then the will is a healer. It's a
Yeah.
boom, bulldogs. So discipline, many people will say, yeah, why I don't do it? I want it so much, but I don't manage. Yeah, work with your self-worth, work with your values and what is the limiting beliefs that they are stopping you.
Yes, limiting beliefs. Exactly. If you're listening to your inner critic, you got to start listening to your inner champion, and it's so true. Easy to say and
Yeah.
do another, but nonetheless, talk a little bit about in the remaining part of the rest of the show, because we're coming towards the close to the end of the show. What are some things that you do to guide people in these particular areas, like helping them to overcome or shed those limiting beliefs? and, developing a so-called plan of action to create that harmony in their life and business or career?
Yeah. Well, I will say that my approach, I have a very huge background, right? I started with Gestalt and psychosynthesis, and then coaching and cognitive and neuroscience, and so on and so on and so on. But now, with the praxis and with my inner work, I have become fearless. So I am red to the to the guillotine, I had a couple that they are with me now 1 year, and that they were working with the boundaries they have to be really this morning. I tell you because I think it will be illustrated very much how I work with the intimacy, really deep intimacy in all levels, And then he said, well, I would like to do this and this and that, and I would like her to. And I said, okay, why do you like that? Well, because as a man, I want this and that. Okay, what is stopping you to do it? And then he just, so I will say that I go very directly and very fast so they understand, maybe 1, 2, 3 days sessions, just to understand what are your boundaries. Yeah, can be limiting beliefs or conditionings or society or whatever, all these 4 things and all the 5 bounds that we have from childhood, basic therapy, but it's very little. And then I say, okay, what is it? What is your why and what? Tell me, what is it you want and why do you want it? And what is your intention? Why do you want what I want? And then when they are clear over that, then it's just to start to tell them, okay, get away to everything that it doesn't help you in that way. Get away. And every time that they come, yeah, but because I say, I don't want to hear it. I'm so sorry. That's not helpful.
Exactly.
So
No,
I don't know
great.
if I answer you.
Oh, no, you did. You did. Yep. And I hope listeners that you're taking notes and that you go back and listen to this episode again, because Victoria shared a lot of great, great, great insights here. As we begin to wrap up, like if you were just to kind of summarize or anything that you haven't shared yet, Victoria, that, some advice that, that when people leave this show today or podcast, when they listen later, what can they start with to start developing that plan? Like some of the things you've already mentioned to kind of start, moving forward towards creating that harmony so they can see things happening for them, not to them.
The first thing I will say is that when we are born as children, we all of us are unstoppable. We are spontaneous. We believe in everything. And well, I will say, go back to your roots. Remember who you are. And you believe that, you know that you are worth it. And life is too short. Life goes by with a blink of the eye. So remember, the day that you are in your deathbed, who do you want to have been? What is your legacy? And what is it that you really want to achieve? Why? What? Why? And why? And what is the reason? What is the intention with that? That is and this really possible. I had done it.
Yeah.
So if I had done it, that I was not good, I believe it. And I think that many people, I know that I am one of them, that I really burn for that. I don't work. I enjoy my life because what I do is my purpose in life. So I love it. So get help. It's possible. You deserve it.
Absolutely. Well, no, now that, first of all, I want to thank you for taking time to be on this show, sharing your words of wisdom, and most importantly, your experience. And I definitely would want to have you back for a follow up to this topic for a future show. How can the listeners and those listening, on the podcast later, how can they get in contact with you? What are you up to? And anything that you'd like to give them. And we encourage everybody listening to reach out to Victoria, because again, we're going to have all our contact information, and this is someone that can help guide you where you are and where you desire to be. If you could share that with the audience, Victoria, that'd be wonderful.
Well, the best, right now I am having a workshop for couples. So people that are struggling, please contact me because I really can help. I mean it. And the best way is going to my Facebook, Victoria Christensen, a relationship expert, because there is all the information. But also message me by all means. I always answer. I have a WhatsApp, and that is international, and you are going to share it afterwards. So just send me a message. I would love to listen from you or to hear from you. I am Spanish, so I talk half Spanish, half Norwegian, half English, half French. I'm sorry, but I get by.
There should be
So
no
that's the
excuse
best
for
way.
the international audience, right?
And that's the best way. And I also, I love my sisters, women, because women, we are goddesses. Everything starts with a woman. So to empower women is one of my most close issues. Yes.
Thank you.
Couples and women.
Well, we highly encourage individuals, couples, business professionals, anyone that you might be right now experiencing a challenge or a hiccup somewhere. It might just be a matter of getting some clarity, looking at your blind
Yeah.
spots. And Victoria is someone that can definitely help you. She's been doing this a long time and has a lot of experience. So we highly encourage you to take advantage. This is why we do these shows, not just to create awareness, but to inspire change, to inspire you to do something with it, to take action. So,
Yeah.
Victoria,
Thank
thank you
you,
so
Salem.
much.
And you know what, Chris? Sometimes it's just one conversation. Doesn't take more.
Yeah,
It's just to.
absolutely. And listeners, we want to thank you each and every week joining us here at Business Influencers. Again, we are committed each and every week bringing in subject matter experts like Victoria and to share their words of wisdom and insights, and most importantly, their personal experience to help elevate you and your level of influence to the next level. If you'd like to hear content that has not been covered here on the show, feel free to reach out to our team here at chris@christophersalem.com. We'd be more than happy to take that information and consider it for a future show. Till then, everybody, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you here next week, same time. Take care.